Hi Pisces, this is Morgan with Compass Rose Astrology, and today we're going to be going through the astrology and tarot talks of the month of March. And these videos are the ones in which I go through the transits that we might be experiencing the most for you personally, Pisces, and then I use a story kind of tarot read to figure out maybe which planets or houses might be activated for you most this month. And then at the end, I pull a card from the Oracle to give one last message for you that universe wants you to hear. I do these videos from a rising sign perspective. So I do have Pisces over here on the ascendant in the first house, you can see. So all the transits I'm going to be talking about are going to be from that perspective. But I do recommend that you watch these videos. You also watch the videos that are based off of your sun or your moon sign, because depending on like what is happening in the skies and what's happening in your own birth chart, sometimes those planets might also be activated most. And that will give you kind of a more holistic idea of what to expect personally. These are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And yeah, well, let's talk about these transits first. So we have, in your first house, we have Neptune, who's still hanging out there, of course. We have the Sun and Mercury. They will be moving out at the end of the month into Aries. And we also have Pisces. Your house ruled planet is Jupiter, and we have it making a conjunction with Venus at the beginning of the month, which is a really beautiful aspect to have. And it's also going to be in your second house, so it could be really beneficial, kind of good abundance and luck towards how you make money, what you invest in, stuff like that. Venus will be moving out into your third house, which will be pretty nice too, because that's Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So I think your third house of siblings, friendships, really close neighbors, stuff like that will have a really nice kind of soft boost as well. Possibly not when Venus goes conjunct with Uranus, but we'll talk about that if that comes up in the reading. We do have our first out of our major transits this month. We have Saturn moving out of Aquarius into your first house. And we'll stay here for the next 3 years. Are you ready? Are you ready, Pisces? I think it's actually not going to be, the worst. Saturn in the first house can indicate a really deep look at who you are as a person and what you stand for, or even how you present yourself. It could indicate really big changes in indicating like your diet and your health, and how you maintain yourself, basically. So that could be kind of fun. At least it's getting out of the 12th house, right? But that being said, I do have to say we do have Pluto actually moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. And that's a huge, like absolutely major generational change here for us. Pluto moving into Aquarius will last until June, and then it will move retrograde back into Capricorn. And then it will move back into Aquarius when it goes direct, and will be in Aquarius for the next 20-ish years, which is a very long time. So having Pluto in the 12th house, I don't think it's going to be the absolute worst. It's going to be incredibly slow moving. It might linger for a bit because it is going to be 12 years. But I think it's really going to I think that for you, there's going to be a big, heavy emphasis on mental and personal health here for you. The sixth house, I think I do that every time I say the sixth house, is truly the most indicative of physical health, but I think the first house is actually how you allow yourself to be strong and kept healthy, and I think possibly having Pluto in your 12th house will make that a huge priority in your life. So we'll see how that goes. We also have a full moon in your 7th house, which is really sweet and wonderful. I think that can indicate a really beautiful time with a partner, a loved one, or friends, and just partnerships, basically. We also do have Mars moving out of your 4th house into the 5th house. And I think that's actually really powerful for all of us. But you most of all, because it was in your 4th house which is a very strong angular planet or house. And it's finally going to be moving into your 5th house of creativity and kind of passion and children and fun. So we'll see which of these show up for you the most. First, I'm going to do a little cleanse here with a sage and rose bundle. I love the smell of sage. It's so pretty. And a cleansing candle that I made. So let's say thank you so much to Spirit for providing clear, positive messages here for Pisces. I thank you so much for helping dispel any negative energy and bringing in positive messages here for Pisces. That's for their highest good. Thank you so much for your guidance, Spirit. I appreciate you being here and being our guide. Okay, let's jump on in. All right, what has Pisces been going through? What has Pisces moving on, huh? Is that what's going on? All right. Yeah. Okay, what has Pisces been feeling? Here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. Oh, I love it. So, my first initial thought here was, Pisces, I feel like you've been broken down a little bit. I think that you feel like you've been forced to get back to the core of who you are because there are a lot of things that weren't working. And I think you're an incredibly, like, you're showing up here as the Page of Wands. I think you're an incredibly creative, passionate person, and possibly some things in the past just did not work out for you. And it's more of like a shedding of an old skin. Like perhaps you had friends that just really didn't serve you at all. And I think that there has been a bit of a journey for you to get here. It could even be like an actual physical journey. Like maybe you went somewhere and you realized, oh, wait a minute. Or maybe you just started seeing things online and like seeing that someone else is living a certain way and you're like, wait a minute. That's calls to my soul in a way, you know? And maybe you're really experiencing a bit of a shedding, like kind of a phoenix rising from the ashes is what I'm getting here. And I feel like you're not even like there is a hint of just being wounded and not like feeling really disappointed, I think, and feeling kind of like also down on yourself a bit. Like, I think a lot of people actually look at you and really like you and really want to be around you. And I feel like you don't blame anybody for what has happened because you're so incredibly like mature and you're just like, it's just a hint of sadness to you. And it's kind of been like having war wounds just shows what you've gone through and how strong you are. And I think you really are beginning to see just how worthy and beautiful you are, Pisces. I do think that you are quite blocked off from other people at the moment. Possibly there could be a hint of not feeling like you can trust anybody too. That's a big thing. Maybe other people's words just, or like emotional connection just never seemed authentic to you. And maybe that's a big reason of why you are happy to move away from whatever this is. Let me see. It could be, you know, honestly, it could be that like perhaps it could have been someone that was someone that should have been in great support for you. It could have been like, perhaps, this is very specific, could perhaps be like a therapist or someone that was using you as a therapist, and it just wasn't helpful. It wasn't the way that your relationship should be, because unless you are an actual certified therapist, then that's not your role as an individual, especially when it comes to a relationship, like a friendship. Could even be a romantic relationship, or perhaps it could be that you were taking on a lot of the emotional burden for works stuff, if this is about a workplace issue. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's see what you're feeling now. What is Pisces going through now? Wow. Oh my God. That's incredible. Okay, I know exactly what this is. Wow. Like sometimes, you know, when you read cards, they can often indicate several different meanings. But here we totally have a spiritual awakening here for you. This is incredible. This could even be someone that like is a really spiritually connected person. And when I say that, I mean like someone that has some real gifts. You have some real gifts. This could be incredibly specific. Someone out there has an actual strong connection to the divine. We have the Seven of Wands, we have the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the Five of Wands. Sorry, I read strife at the bottom. And the High Priestess and the Hierophant, these are the masculine and feminine archetypes of the divine spiritual teacher. And you are absolutely coming through this as this person. And I don't think you realize just how powerful you are and just how connected you are. And maybe it's because in the past you weren't even allowed that sort of pathway. And like, to me, this just seems like not only are you really divinely connected, but it doesn't have to be a complete spiritual like a devotion of your life, like a nun or becoming a priest, even though that is, you know, an indication here. It could be that you are just so connected to the divine that you're finding your purpose, your soul story now. And it can be incredibly overwhelming, and it might make you feel a little like you might still feel like you have to hide yourself a little bit, but you won't have to do that for long. That is definitely a part of the path of when you come into your own, for sure. And it could even be making you feel incredibly anxious too, but you're just beginning something so special. And this is so wonderful. I'm really excited to see this. You're just such a clear person, Pisces. I think once you have Pluto moving into your 12th house, that's really, really, really going to light up your mental health and your mental and spiritual connection. I think the next 20 years are going to be quite ripe with your spirituality, and your devotion to your craft is what I'm hearing. So let's see what you have to expect. Look at all this major arcana for you. What can Pisces expect? Hold on, I found another one flipped over. I did. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have another major arcana. We have the Justice card. Then at the bottom we have the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and then the Eight of Cups. To me, this indicates an experience coming in for you in which justice will be served, basically. And just to be kind of funny about it, like, because you do have the Justice card. But there are individuals in your life right now that I think you have the option, or even like pathways for you to be which one you want to be. You can either be the King of Pentacles or the Knight of Wands, basically. Do you want to be an individual that is seen as a grounded, kind of abundant, nature-loving, really naturally connected person? Or do you want to be seen as a passionate, creative, fiery individual that's always staying true to themselves and listening to their intuition, basically? And very, very wise. Either way, you're a very wise, very in-tune person here, Pisces. But I think there's a sense of there's a sense of finding who you are. And also, if this is not about having to choose your path and how you present yourself and what values you hold, this could indicate that in the future you will have an option. You're going to have some choices about possibly like a partner, someone that could like go into business with you or help you build whatever it is that you're building. But there is a sense of having to say goodbye to something in the process. So, and that's kind of going hand in hand with the Justice card, that like whatever choice you make will have repercussions, basically. But it doesn't mean that you're left with nothing, you know, like you still have a really beautiful option and choice on both ends, basically. That's so cool, Pisces. Wow. What a neat reading. So what message do we have from Oracle? Okay, we have Brother Raccoon, a safe place for you to go. Okay, I am going to read to you from the Oracle deck because I don't want to miss anything that Oracle wants to say to you. Okay. Brother Raccoon. Raccoons speak of stealth, remaining under cover, and flying under the radar. Raccoons suggest you take cover, work with camouflage, and stay in the in-between places for a time in order to remain safe. Do not reveal who you are, what you do, or your new idea, or project at all. Too often we share what we are planning out loud, giving all, even ourselves, the impression it is already done. It is not. It needs careful protection, but mostly you need to not draw attention. It does not mean you have to be furtive or sneaky, though some will call it so. It means to quietly get on with your day-to-day and very soulful business of change without showing everyone every detail along the way. You have far to go. At this early stage, it is not advisable to share all. There is a sacred part of you that must be protected, for it could easily be exhausted and exploited by those who will be very quick, even quicker than you, to recognize the value of what you have. In order to survive, sometimes you must hide, camouflage, or mask yourself from those who would know your true nature and exploit you. Like a precious plant when snow falls, you must go underground, huddle in your seed, and keep quiet and safe from those who would take you and cultivate you in your amazing self for their own reasons. This is not a time to allow yourself to be used by others for their own agendas. Do not think of this hiding or melting into the forest as cowardice. It is wise to go into the ground for a time now. This is why I am here. I will show you the safe places. I will introduce you to the safe people. In order for you, your ancestry, your bloodline, and anything cherished and rare to live on, you sometimes must hide it away for a time, bringing it forward later so that you flourish. Let me, the raccoon, show you where to go, who to hide out with, and when to hunker down. Your wisdom will not fade. You simply will not be seen for a time in order to survive with your ways, your culture, and your wisdom intact. Do not speak. Adapt, make intelligent choices, and hide your precious self or knowledge for a time. If working on a new project, do not speak of it to others for now. At the least, you will dissipate the energy. More terrifying, you run the risk of it being stolen or appropriated, and you also run the risk of worrying about it, which in itself is energy sapping. Keep it a beautiful secret between you and the universe, and continue to do your work. It needs your attention and energy right now. Do not give it all away. Keep it close, fresh, new, and exciting, and stay well under that radar for the time being. Be adaptable. For now, keep the mask close. You are highly intelligent. You will have a perfect place to hide out, a place to stay safe, a place to preserve yourself and your treasure. This going to ground will not be forever. And when you emerge, you will be reborn, ready to come from a heart-centered space with no more need to hide. Pisces, I think that's a really wonderful piece of advice from Spirit, because you clearly have so much to offer and they want to protect you here. So, yes, I'm so grateful that you watched through this video. I would love to hear if you have any stories that resonate with the cards or with the astrology. And I thank you so much for watching. I am so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.